I wonder where the schedule is. Where is it for our lovely North American fans? No? Oh, hey guys, Inside for Nerds here. He is...
Stop it.
I am...
Stop.
And
we're
at...
Can we just be...
Someone asked, what is in that closet?
No one asked that.
Yeah, they did. The first video, remember? Someone asked, what's in the closet?
It's clothes. That's what I usually keep in my closet.
What if a doll with a knife comes out of it and starts stabbing us?
I will let you take the bullets from me and I'll run.
Out of a knife?
Yes. Okay, so... Dude, chill out. Okay, so what we're doing right now...
We're going to quickly run down North American LCS.
Week 4.
Week 4.
Day 1.
4. That's 4 fingers. Day 1.
Stop it.
All right, really quick, because I have to go to work in the morning.
Okay.
Today my boss texted me to come into work, and then I didn't even get it. My phone's been messing up with like notifications and stuff like that. All right, TSM versus OpTic.
Okay, I mean, I think that OpTic Gaming has been pretty much playing terribly with their main roster. If that's going to be the case that they're playing with them still, I don't see them getting close to a good enough win against TSM, who I think is struggling right now, but I don't think they're that bad. So I think that TSM is probably going to win this, but it's going to, like, the jungle, again, is still the strong, even with the new roster, I think the jungle is still the strongest point on this team, along with mid lane. So, I think that Bjergsen is going to be playing. I hope he starts coming back to a little bit better to form, because he's been one of the, like, besides his very last game, he's been pretty weak throughout the entire year.
I think their only constant in OpTic is Crown. Or are you still going to stand by the Meteos is going to be a top-tier jungler by the end of the split?
I mean, he played well, yes, on pretty much every game he's been in. I don't think that that's the biggest problem. I didn't say he was going to be. I said he was last split, though. But
the problem with OpTic's problems are about the same as TSM's. They're not really, like... Gosh, like, what... This is going to be a really toss-up game. Like, is TSM going to be OpTic? Like, I mean, you can't even concretely say that at this point.
I can 100% say that. Like, Dokla's been playing absolutely terrible. And I think that Broken Blade's, the level he's playing at right now, is just going to steamroll him. Yeah. I think that Acadian's playing not better than Meteos, but he's comparable. I mean, he's substantially good enough.
Crown to Bjergsen. Crown's been playing better than Bjergsen.
I mean, yeah,
People are not going to like to hear that one.
I don't care about that, because I don't think Crown is better than Bjergsen on his top 4, because this is not a good Crown. This is a pretty okay Crown, but if Bjergsen comes back to form, this is just not going to be a close matchup.
Not going to beat him as bad as Jensen does, but...
I mean, Bjergsen on form is just... I mean, he's been better than Jensen pretty much all these years. Do you think this is the best Jensen's ever been?
Well, I mean, like, if Crown can't beat Jensen, then, like, how's Crown going to beat Bjergsen?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think that if Bjergsen can come back to form, which I do think he came back to form the very last game they played...
Against
Golden Guardians, I think he was the best player on this team, but the bot lane is substantially the biggest problem on this on TSM roster.
The bot lane is like they're in like a 2-ton baby crib, and you gotta just carry them.
Yeah, but the good thing about this is OpTic's bot lane is not much better.
OpTic is just everything. Every problem TSM has right now doesn't even matter, because OpTic is just so substantially worse that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think that against most bottom tier teams, I think they might struggle, but OpTic Gaming is such a good matchup with them, because TSM's weaknesses are pretty much OpTic's weaknesses too.
And they're not going to get exploited because they have weaker players.
Yeah, and TSM's strengths kind of counteract some of OpTic's weaknesses, and they match their strengths. So
and they have a proactive top laner too.
Yeah, so I think that all around TSM probably smashes this. I don't see this being close, unless Meteos just miraculously turns this team around, which I don't see happening. So I'm going to say TSM wins this.
Yeah, TSM win.
So
Golden Guardians. To be fair, Golden Guardians beat TL last year. You know, they beat them with the completely different roster, the weakest roster they've ever had. You know.
I don't know if this one's much better.
I mean, are you saying that Vorlo is better than Solo? Solo's actually pretty consistent so far.
Don't say Solo's been decent. I despise.
I say he's been consistent.
Consistently bad.
I say he's been.
He's not even average.
He's been playing a little bit better each week.
No, he hasn't. He had a few good games every once in a while, but for the most part, he's still in the bottom 2 for the top laners.
I think if he's been playing the way he's been playing these last few games, he'll be a consistent top laner.
I don't think so. I really don't see what you're getting from this, man. His engages have been abysmal. His laning phase is one of the worst in the whole
I think
league.
He's been getting a bit better.
He has not. He's had a few good games. They've not been consistent games.
I think you're a resident Solo hater.
I hate Solo, but I did hate Darsan too, and I've taken that back. But Solo has not earned that.
I think if Solo can somewhat translate any of his... I was going to say success, which is going to tilt you.
He's not done anything recently, so I would hate if you said that, yes.
But yeah, Golden Guardians to TL, I just don't think that...
Solo is on Echo Fox.
I know. I was just trying to troll you.
What are you even doing?
I just think, like, TL is is way too above Golden Guardians. Here's one. People are going to give credit to Golden Guardians winning last week. They still didn't look good. They played against they played against an OpTic who hadn't played together. TSM, who looks out of this world abysmal. I'm not counting those 2 wins as legitimate. I even think they got some Golden Guardians.
No, again, that game I think that was their cleanest week, the entire week.
Clean, but still not good.
It wasn't good, but we're not expecting them to be a top. That's a turnaround week. You have to give them credit. You don't say they're not expected to be the top team. Like after that, you just hope if they make a good week, that's a good week for them. So what I'm saying is Golden Guardians looked good last week. I think that's a really good point for them. I think that they kind of found a decisive, this is what our team should play like. Pretty decent, like definitely played pretty well. Hanser needs to be on a tank. That's pretty obvious at this point. And so should Ole. Mm-hmm. Like these 2 frontliners should be pretty much what it is. Let Contracts do whatever. I don't care what he does.
He can just play Lee Sin and feed.
I don't care. Like
he's actually been playing better.
He's been playing pretty well this year. I think
he's only been playing that way on Lee Sin. We need to see him on other stuff that makes him more flexible. But I think it's just none of their. I don't think they solved enough to beat Team Liquid.
Froggen took over the game last time, but I think that was just a situation.
Literally scaled to do that.
It wasn't just scaling. I think he got off really good ults. Like he plays Karthus. That's obvious.
But they let him get to that position where his ults could do that much damage. Though.
I mean, his ult will always do damage. The base damage on it's pretty ridiculous, and the scaling's great. So if you're in a lane and don't get pushed behind, you're gonna be fine. I think that Froggen is just one of the best, if not the best Karthus in the league. I think that was pretty obvious at that point. His positioning was incredible.
Hey, flashbacks to CLG EU when they beat Moscow 5.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that if Team Liquid's only problem, if anything, is gonna be maybe the Karthus pick. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, Team Liquid just wins this. I mean, if Golden Guardians wants to win this, they really do need the winning matchups.
They have to win the early game, which is not gonna happen.
I just think they need to pretty much get there because Deathly's fine. I think Deathly's good. I think they need to get a good comp for themselves, so the tank top lane needs to be pretty much the thing every week for Hanser.
Plus, this is Ole's rematch against Doublelift, so maybe he has something to prove in this match, but not gonna prove anything in lane when you're not good at laning, right? 200 IQ play. So TL win this one. Next game is the boys in blue, my boys in blue, Cloud9 versus Echo Fox. Rush gets his rematch with Cloud9. The kind boy gets his rematch with Cloud9 after what? Long time. He faces off against C9 and. I just don't think that. I think Echo Fox is going to put up more of a fight than a lot of people are going to give them credit for.
I'm not going to give him credit for anything because their strongest point is still, in my opinion, going to be Rush, and he's just not good right now.
And he's missed smites.
He's just not a good player. He's not even the best player on this team, but he should be, is what I'm saying. Like, Cloud9 all around, I think Svenskaren's still the weakest point of this team, but he's definitely bounced back recently.
It's like Echo Fox is a good player. Cloud9, it's like one good player versus 4 other good players. Again, Licorice is going to dismantle solo.
Yes, again, Licorice is one of the best, if not, like, I would say he's in the top 3 for top laners right now.
And then you have Sneaky and Zazo, who are not going to lose to Apollo and Haku. They're going to go probably pretty even. And then if Svenskeren donates resources to Sneaky and Zazo's lane,
he's not going to donate resources. You can't donate as a donor.
I mean, if he focuses his gang spot, I think that Sneaky and Zazo are competent enough to push their lead against Apollo and Haku.
I mean,
Niski and
Apollo and Haku are way better in lane. I'm going to give it credit. I do think they're a better laning bot lane than Sneaky Zazel. But I think the biggest problem is you need to ban Ezreal because Cloud9 is just too good at it. It's just too much.
You might have to ban that Shen and Nocturne because you don't want to give them the Shen Nocturne combination.
I think the problem is always going to be this Ezreal. I think that's the biggest problem with Cloud9. The biggest reason as to why they're winning. I did. So don't touch me. So
I cured you with my powers.
So Cloud9 is probably going to win this because I just don't think Echo Fox is capable to beat anybody as it stands right now.
We forgot about the mid lane too. Niski's been playing way better than Phoenix.
He's been playing better.
I just don't think Phoenix has been playing that good.
He's been playing well. I think that you're just not giving him credit for it.
He's just playing average to decent at best.
He's playing above average. I think he's a top 6 mid laner right now. Which is, the top half. But again, I think Phoenix has been playing one of the better players on this team, along with the bot lane. Everybody else has pretty much been useless. Right. So I think if you want to get this team going, if Rush can get back to
need to get going.
Well, I mean, Paul and Haku are playing fine. I think
that if they want to win this, their ball lane has to get ahead.
I think
Rush is not competent enough right now to get them ahead.
If they're not going to win, if they're playing at the same level they've been playing, if Rush doesn't come back to form, this has to if he doesn't play well today, they're not going to win because that's the only way I could see it happening. And Svenskeren is something I could see being taken advantage of.
And that sounds hot. But I think that I think Rush, if he loses to this team right now, he's gonna be on an even worse downward trajectory because he lost to his old org, and now he's like, well, I just can't. I've seen that happen with a couple players. Losing to the team you left kind of can dissuade you from performing even better, but we'll see. I just don't think they're gonna win if Apollo and Hako don't really get ahead, which is not gonna happen against Sneaky and Zazel. So Cloud9 win this one. The boys in blue, a 100 trash versus Fly something.
I think 100 Thieves.
Quest Fly, right?
100 Thieves has looked really good this past week.
Ooh,
He just doesn't want to give. He just wants to argue with me.
It's not that. I like giving credit, but I like giving good credit.
You don't give credit to Phoenix at all, but you give credit to Solo. I don't like your credit. Solo's been playing well, but not Phoenix. He's not been playing consistent. He's had a few good games, and even then they weren't great.
Have you watched the games
I have watched all of the games. I'm sorry.
I think we're not watching the same games.
We're probably not, but Solo has not been great. I think that Phoenix has been playing well, and that's the
won against a zillion top.
I'm sorry.
With Spell Thieves.
The Spell Thieves is incredibly good. It was incredibly good by then.
I know it was good, but they didn't clutch and even play it.
They're the ones that figured it out, though.
But they didn't play it to the strength that was supposed to be played at.
That was at the beginning of when it just got figured out. I'm sorry.
This I don't know. This match is a pretty toss up.
I think that if I want to say 100 Thieves versus FlyQuest, I think 100 Thieves is going to win this because I think that Someday is probably playing at the point that he's playing right now. He's playing as the best top laner again. I really liked his past weeks have been incredible. I think FlyQuest's draft's been better than 100 Thieves. I mean, I don't think that means enough right now because I think that Cop is a pretty decent coach, but that's not enough. I still don't. I like their their ability to pretty much, though they have weaker laners, to pretty much outthink their competition is pretty decent. But 100 Thieves this past week just looks incredible. CLG, I think that CLG their choice to take away the Ezreal from CLG was a really good point. I think that Walter and JJ are substantially worse than Bing and Afro, which is obviously a lane that I could see 100 Thieves winning in, but they haven't shown that yet. See, that's the thing. You can't, like you said, you can't bank on stuff you don't know. On who? They have Bang and Afro. Bang and Afro have played really well, but they haven't been a dominant smash you in lane bot lane. They never were supposed to. I mean, Bang is really not an aggressive laner. He's just a good player. And Afro, although he is a good aggressive laner, he's more going to be roaming towards most anything. And then you got Pobolter facing off against Huhi. That's traditionally just always gone pretty even. I think that right now Pobolter's playing quite a bit better. And so then you have Santorin and Onda. Santorin's looking like the best jungler in the league. I wouldn't say the best, but he's definitely in the top. Because who be? Oh yeah, you have Xmithy. Xmithy's playing really well. Playing better. Dardoch was playing really well too when he was playing. Yeah, we did predict that. Like when they would actually play, they would actually be pretty good. I don't know who's the best jungler, but it's just really. I mean, FlyQuest, if you're going to say anything, I think that Santorin's really just should be in the conversation at the very least. I think FlyQuest will win this time around. I don't think 100 Thieves have shown enough, but we know what we'll get out of FlyQuest at the moment. I'm going to say 100 Thieves stomps this, because with the level at which Someday's playing, I don't think that Viper can keep up. Just the way FlyQuest have been trying to actually be proactive is... Proactivity only means something if, again, it's all going to come down to the jungler, which I do think he can take advantage of Onda. But I think the difference in the laning phase at this point is pretty much too substantial in the side lanes. I think that maybe the mid lane can be taken advantage of with Santorin's help. But I don't think it's going to be enough because Pobolter is not a take over the game. He's more so a set up your team kind of player. And that's just not enough to win the game based off of just Santorin and him. So I think all around, I think that 100 Thieves just has just the better players in general. And they're playing quite a bit better recently. So I think that if it's gonna come down to anything, I think that 100 Thieves is on an upward trajectory. FlyQuest is on... I mean, they faced Echo Fox and TL last week. I mean, they were supposed to lose to TL. And they had a pretty close game against Echo Fox. Who are you talking about? FlyQuest. They had a pretty close game against Echo Fox, and they lost to TL. I mean, I'm just saying, Echo Fox... I mean, FlyQuest is on a downward trajectory. They were like... 100 Thieves faced Clutch, and they're not 0-4 now. Well, 2-4. They lost 4 games straight, 100 Thieves played Clutch and CLG. I think CLG was playing pretty well recently. Oh, they did beat CLG last week too. Yeah. I think that 100 Thieves won 2 games though, where so was FlyQuest lost games to what I would say. They lost a game to the best team. That's fine, but Echo Fox is unacceptable. But that was a pretty close game, no matter what. Though. It was literally just based off a call though. It just shows their inability to close out the game because they have weak laners. I just really don't think FlyQuest can keep up with the level of play at which they're playing at. I think the only 2 decent players on this team are still going to be the jungle and the mid, and top lane has potential, but he's not playing at it right now. So I'm going to say 100 Thieves wins this. Agree to disagree? No.
Never gives me. He never gives me a fist bump.
So who are you picking?
I'm picking FlyQuest this time around.
Okay. So
Clutch and CLG.
So Clutch Gaming.
Oh wow. Do we even know what form of? I don't even know what form of Clutch we're getting. We're getting tilted. They've lost 4 straight. When people didn't realize that, they lost 4 straight. That's why I say do not trust week 1 results.
They have not lost 4 straight.
Yeah, they've lost 4 straight.
Is it 4? Oh, they did win 2-0 and then 4 straight. Yeah.
That's why I say do not trust week 1 results.
I still think they're better than they're playing. I think they
are. They really just are not showing it.
I mean, saying don't trust week 1 results are pretty much all we can go off of. I mean, we can see like at this point that's all we had. So obviously you have to say that's pretty decent. But again, Clutch Gaming.
I still don't think CLG's that. I don't think CLG's that great. I still don't. But
you're not. Well, again, they're not a top tier team. But saying they are not, they were not good at the beginning of the year, and they definitely found out what they were doing. So I think if they can get to the level at which they were playing at, if they can...
Oh my god.
Dude, just turn off the volume.
Notification bells? Oh, that's why my phone's broke or something.
No. Turn off the volume.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's your ringtone. It's not a notification.
Yeah, you're right. Notification off.
Okay.
And sound.
So I'm going to say that Clutch Gaming has the better players if they're playing well, but that's not the case right now. Huni and Lero seem to be like the two...
The heaviest players to carry.
Yeah, the best player on this team is a throw between DeMonte and Piglet, in my opinion. I think these two are playing incredibly well.
So I was gonna say Vulcan.
Vulcan's not playing in the top 2.
See, that's the thing, though. I think he's been playing substantially really good.
I think he's well.
Very underrated in terms of what he's actually been doing for the team.
I mean, he's been playing well, but he's not playing as well as.
Well, not for their level, but like
what I'm saying is,
I think he should be in the conversation for one of the better players on the team too.
I mean, I think he's 3rd. That's pretty okay.
Yeah, because I think Piglet and Vulcan are a really decent bot lane. I did not think their Academy success would translate to the stage.
I mean, if you actually watch them play, you would understand.
But I mean, beating Academy is like comparable to like being.
It's not just the level of play at which they're playing against; it's the level of play at which they play at. I was watching their games; they looked incredibly decent. I think that Piglet Vulcan is one of the best. Again, a lot of people are trashing on Piglet just for no reason whatsoever. If you don't say he's in the very least in the top 5 ADCs right now, you're incredibly wrong. Like, I don't see who would really take that spot from him. Sven's not up there. Wild Turtle's not up there.
Smoking the crystal meth.
Definitely's not playing as well as he is.
Definitely hasn't played good in weeks.
There's not many ADCs that I put above Piglet right now. Maybe my Sneaky, Double Lift.
And who's the other guy? Stixay?
No, not Stixay.
Bang?
Bang might be but like that's the top 5 right there.
Yeah.
Bang, Piglet, Sneaky,
but is Piglet's form good enough to beat CLG?
I mean, yes. I mean, I think that if he gets a good pick, and I think that if the top half of the map starts playing better, I could easily... The Clutch Gaming, this is all going to be dependent on how good Huni and Lyra play. Because they're the biggest detriment to this team not being an elite team, honestly.
I mean, they have a decently hard week, because their next game, spoiler, is against FlyQuest the next day. So... Is this going to be a bounce back week for them? Because they would go 0-6 if they lose to both these teams.
I don't think they're going to lose to... Like, again, Clutch Gaming is a lot better than they're giving off in these games. I think that they're good enough. I mean, obviously, to beat pretty much... If Huni and Lyra are playing better, which, like, I would say if they played as good as they played in the first day, which I think was really good. I think Lyra played extremely well. And Huni looked insane in that first day on Rumble. I think if they played at that level, I see that Clutch Gaming wins this, but it's not happening right now.
I think CLG, they have a defined way to play the game. They have a team captain. If you watch the CLG videos, they've talked about defining a style for themselves, defining how they want to play the game. I think Clutch is going through a growing pain right now. I think they're still going to be 7th where I placed them.
Clutch Gaming is not going to be 7th by the end of this. I'm sorry. By the end of the season, they're either going to be last or they're going to be in 4th.
This is visibly tilted that they're 0-4 since week 1.
I'm sorry. Huni is not playing well, and that's not acceptable. He's a lot better than he's playing right now.
Most deaths and worst stats in the league.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, the stats are... It's very rare the stats show the level of play of a player, but this is true.
I mean, he's only really played bad last split, and people are just like, he needs to go. He's overrated. Like, he's played bad 1 split in his entire career after playing for how many years now?
2, technically.
How many 2? Are you counting this split?
The summer of 2017 with SKT, when he kept getting switched out with Untaro.
I mean, he played really well towards the end of the split, and at Worlds he played incredible. I'm not going to say that he played bad that year.
But he was, to be fair, by that time, he was on a downward trajectory from Rift Rivals to Echo Fox's...
His Worlds performance was incredibly good, and I think that he was one of the better players at that tournament.
Yeah.
So I think that's really unfair to say, considering they made it to Worlds Finals.
No. when he went to Echo Fox and when after Rift Rivals, he was just on this massive trajectory.
Well, that's just one split again. I think that he's had one altogether bad split, and people are just giving him too much. I'm gonna give him credit. He has had too much success in his career for me to say he's just not good enough to play anymore. So I think he could easily bounce back.
But I think right now, like, CLG has a defined game plan, a defined style. The problem with CLG's style is that Clutch as a team should be able to take advantage of it. Clutch as a team are not taking advantage of that. Clutch's advantages are drafting early aggressive laners, their early aggressive picks, and CLG drafts for later scaling poke comps. I think that if Clutch just didn't give CLG the chance to come back in the game, or if they didn't give CLG a chance to have their comps come online, I think Clutch could just be a massive... Clutch, in theory, should be a massive kryptonite to CLG. They should be. In theory, Clutch should be better than CLG not by players, but by the defined styles that the teams have.
Yeah, I think that if Clutch Gaming takes the Ezreal, they win. I think that's pretty much going to define the winning... Like, you can play Varus and stuff, but...
Have we only seen Payload on Sivir?
He's played mostly Ezreal.
It was Sivir, yeah.
He's played Sivir, 3 games of Ezreal.
Yeah, Ezreal, Sivir, and that one Caitlyn game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for right now, CLG win this one.
I'm gonna say that Clutch Gaming wins this because, no, again,
you really want it to be their comeback game.
No, I'm not talking about a comeback game. As it stands right now, I think CLG's fine to define style, but it's all dependent on whether, again, Darda. I mean, even though I do think Hooney's playing badly, I do not think that pretty much what's it called?
Wiggly's playing better than Lyra.
I mean, that's not incredibly good.
But that shouldn't happen.
Wiggly, a big portion of why Clutch Gaming's been kind of underperforming is because Lyra's been taken advantage of when he tries to be the aggressor in the jungle. I don't think but what I'm saying is Wiggly's not going to be able to take advantage of that. I don't think Wiggly's good enough to stop the aggressive plays that he makes, because a lot of them came off the fact of roaming teams, or roaming members of the laners, like those laners kind of roaming and stopping it, like you saw in the what's it called game. You saw what's his name roam from the support. What was that dude's name? What game was that? Was that Cloud9? No, it wasn't Cloud9.
Oh, you mean when he got taken advantage of as Elise, right?
No, it was the Elise game, and somebody came.
Oh, it was freaking. They played against OpTic in that game. They played good lord, Dardoch had played against Camille Jungle.
Yeah, so we saw what's his name.
He tried to get a Krug.
Oh, Gate.
No, he tried to get a Scuttle.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about when he was at Raptors and most of the situations where Lyra falls behind, it's not because of mechanical misplays. I don't think that's the problem here. I think it's all come off the back of poor decision making, and I think that if he can fix that, his mechanics are not bad. They've not been poor. It's just
like actually that bad.
He's not paying attention to the map. It's the biggest problem with this team. He's trying to invade when he, like, obviously the support's missing. The top lane has to shove in so he can make it first. Like, I think that's not going to be the case with CLG because even though I do think Darshan's playing well, he only plays tanks, and I don't think that's good enough to get a shove in on Huni. Demonte's just too good to get shoved in by Power Evo right now.
Power Evo, he's been showing he's been really good.
Demonte's been playing really well.
Yeah, I think Power Evo is playing. Yeah, they're both. It's actually pretty even. Both have been playing really well. No, both have actually been on a trajectory upwards.
I mean, let's compare the differences between the Team Liquid games.
The ones where they got abysmally destroyed?
See, no, well, what I'm saying is the differences between the Jensen matchup, where I think Demonte did quite a bit. I don't think he lost Jensen really that bad.
Has Clutch played against? Oh yeah, they have.
Clutch Gaming.
I think both teams tried to do the exact same thing.
Jensen didn't do much. Jensen did not do anything.
Jensen avoided their Jensen knows how to avoid jungle pressure very well.
What I'm saying, it wasn't. They didn't really exert much jungle pressure. The biggest thing was Jensen did nothing in terms of just gaining a lead in mid until like the later team fights.
Yeah.
So I think Demonte is very much capable mechanically to compete with anybody, but
I think Clutch gives him the leeway and champs to play to his effective style. He wants to play towards.
I just think
he only did that on like a Kali.
But no, he didn't. He played really well on Galio. His Galio was incredibly good.
But like we've only seen him do that on specific. It's really weird. It's really odd though.
If you can do that on Galio, you can do it on any other AD. I mean, support.
What did he play the last time?
Galio.
He played Lissandra against Cloud9. Lissandra was fine. I think he played.
It was a good matchup into Aatrox, and he really couldn't do anything besides not get himself killed.
Yeah.
He almost had him a few times. But
yeah, but Ezreal's just OP as crap.
I'm just saying, all around, I think that Clutch Gaming wins this because the strengths of CLG are going to come off of the Ezreal pick on top of like just a consistent tank top laner from
I would say just put Huni on like Urgot, give Lyra.
So, I'm gonna say CLG. I mean, Clutch Gaming wins this, and you're gonna say CLG.
See, the reason I want to say CLG is because they've defined what they want to play the game as.
I agree that they've defined a style.
Clutch hasn't.
It's it's a counteractive play style.
But Clutch should be able to beat CLG.
Yeah.
This shouldn't be. We should be coming in here and saying Clutch should win this no matter what.
I'm gonna say that Clutch Gaming.
I'll say CLG win this one.
All right, that's fine. So that's pretty much it. No.
So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. See you guys in the next video. I wonder what else we have to do. No, that's pretty much it. That's the predictions. I'm gonna win. That's how it works.